Welcome to week 3 of EDU302. Wanted to let you know that you guys had a great week. I've had a chance to go through assignments. I've had a chance to read your Facebook posts, and I am thrilled with the level of participation and how much you guys are just really soaking in the information from the textbook and seeing it visible in your classrooms, in your observation classrooms. So first off, I want to remind you that I have an office hour set up this week for us to meet on WebEx. So those of you that are available this week, it'll be on Wednesday, and it'll be at 4 o'clock. The information is posted in week 3 of our course, so I'll click there so that you can see that information. And it is near the bottom. So this link here, you just click on it. And then this is the information that you need to access the meeting. You can access the meeting by phone or through your computer. Okay, so hope to see some of you on WebEx, especially if I didn't get to see you the first time. And if I did get to see you the first time, come on back. It'll give us a chance to just talk about any concerns that you have, questions about the assignments, upcoming tasks, the wikis, just anything that's on your mind. It's a totally free agenda, and we'll address whatever you have concerns about. Okay, so let's take a quick walk back into last week and do just sort of a little reflection. You guys did a great job of identifying evidence of Piaget and Vygotsky's theories in the classroom today, that they are still relevant today. Some of you noted things like scaffolding. That is a very common, very useful strategy that teachers are using, where they take a skill or a task that has multiple steps or multiple attributes, and they break it down into small portions, and they guide students as they go along each area so that it's scaffolded. It's a little bit at a time, adding on the next step when students are ready. So scaffolding is a good one. The other one that you picked up on quite readily was the zone of proximal development. And you noted that students worked with peers scratch that. Teachers actually supported students with the zone of proximal development by helping them to stretch beyond what they could already do on their own. So zone of proximal development has to do with the idea that students who are, you're working on a task and they can't achieve it all by themselves. And so you provide just enough support to help them work it through, but you don't leave them on their own, because that would lead to frustration. So did a good job identifying that taking place. Let's see. Not as many of you noted semiotic function. Semiotic function is something quite common as well. And it's anytime you see teachers replacing something that's abstract with something concrete through symbols. Okay, so for example, you may have the letters of the alphabet at the elementary level, kindergarten, first grade, where the A sound in A is represented by apple, apple. Okay, so the apple is a symbol, and that's an example of semiotic function. That is done all the way through, even post-secondary education uses that strategy. Let's see if I can come up with something more common. Let's see. I'm drawing a blank. It's probably because this camera is looking at me and I really can't see any of you guys. Oh, I know. Let's go with middle school. I used to teach home economics back when home economics was actually still in schools. And I had students who were English language learners. And many times, of course, they would not understand the kinds of equipment that we were using if I just said them. So we represented those images with pictures. And so that was another example of semiotic function. And by the way, when you go through Piaget's stages of development, those stages apply anytime you're actually learning something new. It's not just with children as they grow and develop in their thinking, but if there's something that you know nothing about, you're going to be starting off in that pre-operational stage, and then you're going to be moving into formal operations as you master certain skills. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind. Let's see, what else do we need to talk about? Okay, let's go back to some of your Facebook posts, because I really liked some of you brought up some interesting things that students in the past haven't mentioned in observations. And James, you particularly talked about the co-constructed process, and I think that's really interesting that you noticed that in the classroom, because it's a great constructivist tool to help students construct knowledge on their own. So rather than the constant telling that we do with students through direct instruction, the constructivist methods allow us to set up the framework, the parameters, the boundaries, and provide them with tools in order to come up with that knowledge on their own. So that's really important. Let's see, some other strategies where you would see that co-constructed process exists with cooperative learning. Just because students are working in groups, which is also, can be a co-constructing process, but when they're working in cooperative groups in particular, and everybody has a task and a contribution to make, that's also contributing to that co-construction. And let's see, one more. Hypothetical deduction. That was really good too. It's a formal operation stage, and it's where students are able to hypothetically see a situation that doesn't really exist and be able to point out all the facets that might interact with that hypothetical situation and determine outcomes. So let's say, for example, how many of you guys are going to go see Twilight this week? Yay! I'm going to go see Twilight on the 18th, 10 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the evening. Everybody should be there. I wish we could all be in the same theater. But anyway, hypothetically speaking, what are all the things that could keep me from getting to see Twilight? Maybe that's not a good example because nothing's going to keep me from doing it. But let's just say something would. It could be traffic on my way from home to the theater. And if I don't leave an hour ahead of time, what happens? Oh my God, there's going to be these really long lines. I'm not going to get a good seat, etc. So we can take that hypothetical situation and find out how our actions and choices will affect an outcome. Okay, so that was a good one that someone brought up. Let's see. I want to thank Valerie and Allison. You guys were the only two that actually responded to someone's post this week, and I really appreciated that. And I'd like to encourage all of you to take a few moments, read through what other people have talked about or mentioned, because again, that's where some of the learning is going to take place, challenging each other's thoughts and ideas and opinions. How did you see this out of, as an example of that? Because I see it this way. That kind of stuff is very, very, very helpful. So continue to do that. And thank you very much, Valerie and Allison, for doing that. Let's see, what else? And Ruby, you saw the concrete operational stage. And you mentioned it was sort of illustrated by using a box to help students add and subtract large numbers. So a very hands-on activity that allows them to manipulate something concrete. That is an excellent example for a strategy that can be used at the concrete operational stage. All right, so what do we have this week? This week we're going to be moving into Erickson's, and Erickson's theory has to do with, what did he call those? 8 stages of psychosocial development. So this week when we're going through your fieldwork observations, when you go into Facebook, I want you to post examples of the psychosocial development taking place in the classroom and how that's facilitated by teachers, okay? Let's see, what else do we have going on this week? We have wiki projects that we're going to begin to start looking at. So group 5 will be next week, and they will have their wiki posted by 7 a.m. on Monday morning. And then sometime during that afternoon, I'm going to go back in there and I will put everybody into their wiki group so that you can see what they prepare for you. Let's see, what else do you need to know about that? 7 a.m. Oh, and then after 7 a.m. it's really important, group 5, that you will not be able to edit it anymore. So add whatever it is that you need to add to it by 7 a.m. Monday morning. All right, let's see. What else do we need to know? Okay, this week some activities are provided in a notebook, Zoho notebook, and you just click on these tabs in order to access the instruction. And also at the bottom of some of them you'll find comments. So I want you to add to those comments. The comments that you already see here will have come from a previous course, but that's okay. Just sort of go in there, build on it, add on it, but make some comments at the bottom of the pages. Not all of them, but some of them, okay? Let's see. Then you have, what did you notice in field work about? So each one of these has I actually thought I created a blog entry for each one, so that all you had to do was click on the bottom to add a comment on 2 or more. Yeah, so I think somehow in the conversion of the course and making it active, it dropped off those, so I'll add those back. But basically what you'll see, why not go through it right now? Oh, because I can't, I'm not in edit mode. Okay, now I'm in edit mode. Oh, but now I don't know what the name of that topic was. Let's go back there. Okay, so let's take this one here, the social context of development based on. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to create a blog for it. And post the entry. So now it's here. All you have to do is click on comment in order to add to that. Ooh, misspelling. Left off a T there. So the. Okay, so I'll finish off the rest of those when I'm finished with the video here. Okay, so then we can go back to Blackboard. It encourages you to continue working on your wiki, and as you're working on the wiki, this is a video that might be of interest to you, so that you know exactly how you can use that editor to add content to the wiki. So you'll be able to change colors of text, you'll be able to add video, you'll be able to add
Wikis are used to create a collaborative space for the course.
Audio,
Students can view
any number of things. So just kind of take a look at that video when you have some time. Well, maybe I shouldn't say when you have some time. I know we all have very little of that. So when you need it, how about that? Okay, and that's what we have for week 3 this week. You're going to be working on Erickson stages of psychosocial development. Okay, give me a call if you need anything. 951-343-3921. Nope, 3924. 3924. That's the office extension. You can also tweet me a message at tdbond66, at tdbond66, the @ symbol. And let's see, how else? Email. Yeah, so any of those ways of getting a hold of me is great. And Facebook, I'm on multiple times a day, just kind of checking in on your posts, as well as I have a faculty page that I keep up with as well, so I'm checking in with faculty. So I'm on Facebook a few times a day usually. So easy to reach. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Oh, wait, before we close out, let's talk about the activity 1 from this past week. So I've had a chance to go through and grade all of those, and by and far and large, they're great. I have absolutely no complaints or concerns, except some of you are overworking. So for example, I noticed that some of you think that you have to address elementary, middle, and high school in activity 1 or activity 2 or activity 3. That's not the case. It's wherever you are doing an observation. So if you're at the elementary level, then you'll address activity 2. If you happen to be at the middle school level, you can base activity 2 on that. But it's whatever level you're observing in at the time that activity is due, or that you're working on that activity, that's fine. So you don't have to address all 3 levels at each one of those activities. Okay, some of you are working a little too hard. I loved what you wrote. Don't get me wrong. It was great. But I don't want you, there's many things that you have to do, so I want to try and save you some time there. So that went well. Facebook posts are going well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. But again, I'm hoping to see some of you guys on Wednesday, and that way if there are any other questions that you have, we can talk about them then. Okay, have a great week.